The third speaker is Yong-Shik Lee, who received his BA and MA degrees at the Seoul National University and his PhD degree at University of Hawaii at Manoa. He is currently professor at the Chonam National University and is chief editor of Korean Musicology and is board member to many Korean academic societies. Lee is interested in Korean folk music, including shaman music, folk songs, and farmers band music. He has published several monographs and many articles about the symbolic meaning of music, the cultural identity of Korean music, and so on. So without further ado, I present to you the video presentations of our three speakers, and then we will discuss after these presentations.
My paper at the Asia Pacific Society for Ethnomusicology conference. I'm so sorry we cannot make a face-to-face meeting due to the pandemic COVID-19. I hope we can see each other at the next conference. My paper deals with the Korean solo instrumental music called Sanjo, which was originally scattered improvised music and became fixed score music. Sanjo, literally meaning scattered melodies, is the Korean instrumental solo music. Let me show you a brief video clip of Sanjo performance for your understanding. This video was made in New York in 1972. The instrument is the gayageum, or the six-stringed zihter.
Instrument believed to be 1400 years old. Legend has it that the man who fashioned the first gayageum was minister to a Korean king. They say that he was playing the instrument one summer's evening when two black cranes flew in through the open windows and performed a dance. And so, the instrument came to be called the Black Crane Harp. You will notice that the player strikes and plucks the six-stringed instrument with a small plectrum made of bamboo. This sounds the fundamental tone. The left hand pushes the strings forward and backward to execute vibrato. The accompanying instrument is the chango. This drum provides the rhythmic drive and also spurs on the main performer.
Most scholars agree that Sanjo was first made by a master of the gayageum, or 12-string plus zither, Kim Chang-jo, at the end of the 19th century. Many other musicians adopted the newly emerged genre of their instruments, including the gayageum, 6-string plus zither, piri, cylindrical doubled bamboo oboe, daegeum, transverse bamboo flute, haegeum, 2-string zither, ajeng, bowed zither, danso, vertical notched bamboo flute, and others. The chango, or the hourglass-shaped drum, normally accompanies the solo music. Sanjo has a specific movement structure in accordance with the progression of rhythmic cycle called 장단. It has a non-metrical tuning section called 다스름 in advance to the performance proper. Sanjo begins with the slowest 6-beat 진양조 rhythmic cycle. Faster movements follow gradually, from the medium 12-beat 중몰이, moderate 4-beat 중중몰이, to fast 4-beat 자진몰이. The gayageum Sanjo ends with faster duple cycles of 휘몰이, 단몰이, or 세산조시. Some schools of Sanjo add the shamanic-derived 4-beat cycle of 국거리, or a mixed 4-beat cycle of 엄몰이. In harmony with this rhythmic progression, many modes express certain emotional aesthetics, 우조, 평조, 계면조, 경조, and others. The photos of this slide and the former slide were taken by Dr. Robert Garfias in Korea in 1961. The gayageum players 원옥하 and Kim Byung-ho were the most popular ones at the time. Sanjo is believed to be derived from Shinawi, or accompanying music of shaman ritual, and pansori, or epic vocal genre. The former has been the seed for the growth of Sanjo because most of earlier instrumentalists were from shaman family and were educated in the music of Shinawi. The latter provides the essential musical idiom of Sanjo music, that is, the rhythmic cycle and musical mood. Shinawi was originally performed by shaman musicians during a ritual to accompany shaman songs and dances in the southwestern province. The shaman musicians were principally male members of a shaman family whose vocation was inherited by blood. Therefore, Shinawi musicians were ascribed to musicians who developed the virtuous musical technique with improvisations from their childhood. The shaman musicians were freely able to make improvisational spontaneous music to accompany various kinds of shaman songs and dances during a ritual. I will show you a video clip of the shaman ritual. In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, some of the masters developed a stage ensemble version of Shinawi, as you saw in the video clip, and solo instrumental genre, Sanjo. Shinawi, as its nature, requires the most extensive improvisational musical style among Korean musical genres and exhibits the performer's highly developed artistic creativity and competence. Sanjo, developed originally by shaman musicians, was also improvisational music like Shinawi at the beginning. Kim Chang-jo, shown in this photo, is believed to develop the Sanjo at the end of the 19th century, who was born in a shaman family in Yongam district. He was a master of many musical instruments, including the gayageum. Under his guidance, many gayageum players learned the Sanjo music. Kim's disciples include Kang Tae-hong, Choi Ok-sam, Kim Byung-ho, and others, who later developed their own style or school of Sanjo music, which was far from the teacher's melody. In the first half of the 20th century, the Sanjo musicians' creativity was highly approved. What is more, the music itself was improvisational, which was different whenever the musician played. We could find many instances that the teacher's music was different from time to time, that the students had a hard time to learn the music. Teachers always asked their students to make their own music, not to imitate teachers' music steadily. Everything changed drastically in the middle of the last century. There were two factors. One was the Intangible Cultural Heritage system, and the other, the college education curriculum. The Korean government passed a law to preserve and promote the vanishing traditional culture in 1962. Many marginalized folk performing arts, for instance, shamanism and traditional musical genres, including Sanjo, were designated as intangible cultural heritage, and those who held them were regarded as human cultural assets. Many musicians have consequently presented public performances throughout the country and as keepers of tradition and abroad as cultural ambassadors. The heritage system had a negative role at the same time. The musicians were not allowed to make their own music, but to preserve the teacher's music faithfully. In fact, the government regards the traditional arts as worthy of preservation only because they mirror the past. The government's attitude toward the tradition is exhibited in the preface of a publication to commemorate the Year of Cultural Heritage in 1997. It reads, "Korea has long been abloom with its own unique culture and art. Cultural properties establish national identity and strengthen national status. There are so invaluable treasures to be shared with the people of the world." This new recognition encouraged the Korean government to set 1997 as the Year of Cultural Heritage in order to focus financial and human resources on preserving the remnants of the traditional culture. Intangible cultural properties are the precious indigenous skills of drama, music, dance, and handicrafts through which we mirror traditional lifestyle, ideologies, and aesthetics. End of quote. The most important basis for the designation of an intangible cultural heritage was to keep its original archetypical form. Jang Sa-hoon, one of the founding fathers of contemporary Korean musicology, places confidence in the heritage system. Aims to keep originality. If one thing is appointed which is not the original form, it may have lost its value. All people who are supported as human cultural assets should remember to keep the original form and know the roots and characteristic skills unique to each genre. End of quote. The appointees of the heritage system should follow what they had learned from their teachers and not to alter their music in any case. There was no room to develop their own music. The musicians gradually lost their ability to improvise Sanjo music and faithfully imitate their teacher's music. In this regard, it became what I call a fossilized art. The college education also played a fatal role for the musicians to lose their musical competence to make improvisation music. Seoul National University established the Korean Music Department in 1959. For the purpose of modern college education, the professors and renowned musicians make music scores for the Sanjo. For instance, Kim Gi-soo, the former director of the National Gugak Center, transcribed gayageum Sanjo music in Western staff notation in 1958. Lee Jae-suk, who enrolled Seoul National University in 1959 and became the first professor at the university in 1967, published a score of 5 scores of the gayageum Sanjo in 1971. The photo is the cover of his 1971 publication. The photo is the first page of his 1971 publication. Music score is a visualized image of musical sound. Music score itself is not a music. It is just a means for the players to transfer the composer's musical creativity. For the Korean musicians, however, the music score is not just a visualized image of the musical sound. The Korean musicians respected the ability to read staff notation and made the Sanjo scores in order to preserve the music in its authentic form. The music score in Korea was not only the vehicle to preserve the traditional music, but also the weapon to ensure the authenticity and the legitimacy of college education. Hence, the college students had to adhere to the score. They did not learn to make improvisational music anymore. Consequently, Sanjo became a fixed score music. Sanjo was originally a improvised scattered music which was conveyed generation to generation in oral tradition. Music score of the Sanjo used in the college education at first and in the music education in general made the Sanjo music a frozen cultural artifact. The Intangible Cultural Heritage system to preserve the traditional culture made the Sanjo music a fossilized art. The Sanjo players are no longer master musicians to make their own music with improvisation. They are just experts who faithfully imitate their teacher's music. Sanjo became the mirror of the past. Thank you.